lunch!
Back in 2018, we were greeted by a new promising HBO series that started off episode 1 by showing us young members of an ultra-rich American family desperately trying to please their patriarch Logan Roy on his birthday.
So, I think it's time to play the game.
We're playing the game?
Yes.
Everybody sought to outshine each other in the eyes of their big daddy. His heir apparent abandoned a highly important business meeting for him. His soon-to-be son-in-law gifted him an expensive watch, and Greg tried to make a pleasing impression.
I'm actually here to see you.
Whoa. Stand back! Who are you?
As he always does. But amidst these desperate, business-minded children was one forgotten son.
Look, Dad, we should get this somewhere ambient. You wanna?
Connor, how are you? How's the ranch?
Oh, perfect. You know, the light pollution is practically zero. So, you know, that's nice.
What is it?
Well?
Oh, yes. It's a goo. It's a fucking goo.
Perfect.
I just don't know what the fuck it is.
It's sourdough starter to make bread. Without yeast. The old way.
Oh, okay. Old bread. Thank you.
A middle-aged man whose gift elicited much shock and disappointment in his father. Connor Roy's ridiculous birthday gift carries with it a very illuminating insight into who he is, diametrically opposite to the grand, serious world of his father.
What are people? They're economic units. I'm 100 feet tall. These people are pygmies. But, together, form a market.
In the eyes of Logan, everybody has a price tag, and Logan knows the number on it. But much to the grief of Logan Roy.
Hey, apparently, have you heard this?
What?
I'm a GIF now.
Connor Roy is none of these people.
One of the conheads sent it in. I'm a meme.
You're a meme?
Yeah, I got memed.
He's the priceless archetypal fuck you to Logan. At the beginning of Succession, Connor is seen comically struggling to fit into the dynamic of the show. Season 1 Connor tries quite hard to please his father by bringing up cryogenics.
He wants to talk to me about cryogenics.
Hosting business parties and family therapy sessions. Season 3 Connor tries to assert himself as the eldest son worthy of attention. But over the course of this series, between the lines, something clicks in him. His own unique philosophy reveals itself despite an outward stupidity. Connor becomes a winner in his own right, turning his weirdness into overlooked strengths that save him from the tragedy of the show. This essay will zoom into this miracle of Connor Roy and how this profound fool proves himself to be the most beloved personality by the end of the show.
Hello.
First, let's look at his mysterious traumatic origins. Connor comes from a previous marriage of Logan, having quite an estranged presence as an intellectually slow, misunderstood child constantly neglected by his family. As the story goes, Connor's mom was suffering from psycho-emotional challenges. Her exit from the family seems to have had an impact on little Connor's development.
You're a brat. You know, none of you have been through what I've been through, so just...
Oh, my mommy got sent to the booby hatch, and now I'm sad.
fuck off.
The season 4 episode Connor's Wedding gives us a lot more insight into this part of his past.
But he's fixated on the cake. He says it's a loony cake?
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that?
I believe when they told Connor his mom was getting,
Going to the funny
taken
farm.
into mental health care, they gave him cake.
Being abandoned from his family because of his mental problems, Connor suffered an ostracized childhood. And as a result of this abandonment, Connor seems unable to take serious leadership roles despite being the eldest son. Most of his ways of dealing with family matters are underlined by a peculiar childlike insecurity.
Forks are to be placed thusly. This is how they do it at a Dakota Dude Ranch. This is how we do it at the Wreck Me Ball. Now please go check every other fork.
A form of escapism from serious matters to resort to micromanaging petty details whenever in a position of leadership. Despite not understanding the business part of family, This abandonment also means that Connor craves the more innocent parts of connecting with family members, but doesn't understand the serious underlying commitments and is therefore considered the black sheep. This abnormal behavior in the context of the show makes us view him as the fool, a character archetype of a person who becomes the butt of the joke in society for his childishness. According to the source, Know Your Archetypes, a fool is the individual who will bring comic relief and fun to any situation through their own seeming lack of any intelligence or common sense. Commonly, the fool is an innocent individual, oblivious to the faux pas which they commit. Although this type of person is subject to mockery and disregard, there is another side to the archetype which makes them a compelling persona. According to Joseph Campbell, the fool is the one who is willing to risk ridicule, scorn, and rejection to follow the path of truth and love, no matter what the naysayers have to say. In this way, the fool is a special and different character in the context of a tragedy and can turn out to be an unlikely and surprising hero as a result of exposing the moral conscience of the story. In order to realize this strength in Connor, we need to look at Succession's morality from a bird's eye view. Irrespective of whether its normal characters are within Logan's inner circle or not, there is one symptom in all of Succession's characters that unites them in their struggles, a symptom of attachment to Logan's business ends. Each character judges their self-worth based on how close and useful they are to Logan. Each character not only desires to become like Logan, but this is what they all consider morally good. Although Kendall struggles with this morality, we see him finally embracing it in season 4 and coming closer and closer to thinking and acting like his father because it is good and necessary to Waystar. As time tells us, this symptom is a necessity for not only thriving but basically surviving in this world. If these characters fail to align with Logan, they disappear from the dynamic. Take the case of Carrie. After getting promoted as a show host on ATN, she ends up making a joke of herself and eventually has to suffer with the disaster of being told off by Greg. When Logan dies, she fails to realign herself to the interests of the business and inevitably disappears thanks to the force of Marcia. This quick, steadily downward trajectory is a natural result of Carrie being rendered useless to the game. What's interesting about this is that there's a paradox. This symptom of attachment in the big picture of Succession's tragedy is what qualifies as the hamartia, the definitive fatal flaw that leads our protagonists to a point of no return. The effect of this attachment dehumanizes our characters into Logan's economic units battling against each other, letting go of what's human in them while pursuing the moral abyss. The hamartia that makes these characters appear worthy also gives them profound grief, becoming larger and larger after the Connor wedding episode for obvious reasons. It is interesting to note that Connor is the only character who stays relevant in the show despite being miles away from Logan's business. As our beloved fool, Connor has managed to survive this hot climate of intense competition by being out of Logan's radar. In this way, the great curse of his childhood turns into a great blessing. Connor exhibits what Taoism emphasizes as amorality, a complete disregard for questions of right and wrong in the context of society. While the characters are busy plotting betrayals and power moves, Connor's busy buying Napoleon's private parts at some obscure auction. But he never has to worry about his reputation because he has no reputation. He doesn't need to stress about or pray for his life. Connor's childishness, detachment, and amorality come to its highest point when he decides to run for the President of the United States. While everyone treats this as a joke, I think by benefit of hindsight, Suave can play the clown's advocate on this one.
Hey, can you name me one member of the House Commerce Committee?
Yeah, I think I know one. Representative Ferdinand D. Who gives a shit from the great state of no one fucking cares.
Connor understands something about American politics that an apparently smarter Shiv gets completely wrong.
My baby sister is smart, right?
She is.
Hey.
Shiv's motivations to pursue politics came from a righteous ground. She consistently sided with the Liberal candidate because she felt that is the right thing to do and that the Conservatives are the dangerous party. Shiv is thus affected by the moralistic media narrative as much as any other normal person. But as time passes, Shiv contradicts her own moral attachments by the end of episode 9 of season 4, becoming a moral joke unto herself. Plastic Pills has made an illuminating essay on Trump and how he represents the obscene of the political sphere.
It's better and probably more accurate to think of it as which hairless ape can seduce enough of the energies of this big blob of people that doesn't really care that much to be involved, especially if it takes any effort.
And it helps us define the current post-morality atmosphere of politics. As an amoral figure trying to become president, what Connor understands, or rather, takes for a fact in politics, is how dispensable it has become. If you are an outsider billionaire with the right amount of resources, you can always get some form of win or favorability simply out of playing the game and understanding it from a detached perspective.
Can you believe this shit? He's trying to make Pop into a neoconservative. He wasn't a neocon, he was a paleo-libertarian.
So while the game of Waystar Royco will land you into a deep philosophical abyss, playing the game of amoral American politics is the best way Connor levels himself up in the show.
Brand name, war chest, populist appeal, and he's a fighter.
Hey, thanks, Pete. I believe I speak for my father when I offer a firm and robust no comment.
Even making Roman his play toy by season 4. Even though in public, episode 7 Connor treats his election loss as a disgrace.
Politics of envy. Ugly game. I happen to be a billionaire. Sorry.
We see how maturely he treats the loss in private.
I shan't become that, no. Alas, Kentucky Willa. Alas, vanity.
Furthering the argument that he's rather content in merely posing that he's angry. And this paves the way for Connor to invest his emotions into something else, something that he finds more worthy.
Your friend here keeps telling people he's in love with them and it's making people uncomfortable.
My bad. Mixed messages. It's just we share such strong feelings about gut bacteria. I think I got the wrong end of the stick.
Watch him.
Succession makes it abundantly clear to us that the long-term human suffering in the show is almost always out of a lack of love. Shiv, Kendall and Roman suffer from a lack of love from their father and have zero friends and genuine romantic connections outside of business.
Go on, tell us who's here.
Who isn't?
Your dad?
Your mom.
Your wife and kids?
Any real friends?
It's really sad because they pose like they are the life of the party when they get the attention. But they don't have any quality relations to back up their appearances. Connor and Willa, on the other hand, have developed into a genuine relationship.
Hey, my partner is cold and he'd like to keep his fucking coat on, okay? And he's running to be the next president of the United States of America, so maybe you should show him some fucking respect.
I think what makes them special is that they come to realize how facetious their romantic love is, and like each other despite knowing this. It is because of this honesty and a self-awareness about their flaws that they come to trust each other.
Are you just with me for money, Willa? Basically.
Well, I mean, there is something about money and safety here, yeah, there is. But I'm happy.
For me, the turning point in their relationship happens in season 4 episode 2, when Connor goes with his siblings for a karaoke celebration of his birthday. At first, Connor tries to track Willa like an insecure partner when she leaves his party out of some tensions.
I have her location shared. I just think it's a factory setting.
It's not.
But over the course of the episode, Connor is forced to loosen his grip on her.
Oh, shit.
What?
She's gone dark. Why has she gone dark? I mean, is this it? Is she going off with some buck and they're gonna,
Hey, take it easy. Maybe your phone just died.
And he manages to give up his need to control her.
If Willa doesn't come back, that's fine. Because I don't need love. It's like a superpower.
It is precisely when Connor loses control that Willa returns to strengthen their bond. This turning point coincides with Connor's dramatic monologue.
Love me, please love me. I need love, I need attention.
Well, I think that's the opposite of what just happened.
You're needy love sponges. And I'm a plant that grows on rocks and lives off insects that die inside of me.
Which in our overall context shows us an important closure Connor has achieved with his family. Unlike Season 1, Season 4 Connor no longer wants to be possessive about Willa or expect any goodwill from his family and siblings. He's no longer oblivious about the fact that he was the fool in his father's eyes.
Oh man. He never even liked me.
And no longer is he crying under the delusion that he should have been the President of the United States. His personal response is mature, even though he whines in public. A politician's gotta do what he's gotta do after all. Therefore, in the grand scheme of things, to me, Connor becomes a profound fool in the show's moral paradox. He seeks to prove to everyone how he can prosper despite of himself.
Whatever you three decide goes. Goodbye.
Connor.
On the trust, I refuse to play. I don't want to engage. I'm water. I flow.
As long as he's not morally deluded into playing his daddy's game, he carries no childish expectations out of his ruthless family and learns how to stand alone.
There's one person here who doesn't think I'm a joke. So that's who I'm going to listen to. Okay?
Succession shows us a truly grim picture of a very rich media-owning family, but through Connor, it also shows us that as long as we are not fooled into actually believing its images of love, success and power, someday we can learn to say,
Fuck it.